My name's Jesus Pineda. I'm with Latino Farmers and Ranchers International, based from DC. We have a local office in Fresno. So the work we do is around agriculture, specifically advocating for BIPOC farmers, small farmers, not the big farmers. But obviously, we represent our farming families here from the Central Valley and also throughout California and the United States. But our efforts are local here in the state of California. We work around agriculture and different programming that there is need for procuring the needs of the small family farms.
So let me ask you a question. So what I'm hearing is that the small farmer doesn't have any representation, and you made some statement about the Farm Bill. Can you expand on what exactly is the Farm Bill?
So as we know that the Farm Bill happens every more or less 7 years, and so it's a structural reform of what agriculture needs in terms of not just the produce, the crop, but also the people farming. And so the idea is what will be addressed. I mean, in terms of food security, in terms of labor, health, etc. But the thing is, how do we invest, bring about funds addressing those issues? So for example, here in California, as well as throughout the Southwest, the face of the farmer is no longer going to be a white male. It's going to be very diverse and colorful. So meaning that there are now women who have their own farms. And the thing is, are there the resources to make that transition? There isn't. And this is something that we've advocated in Sacramento and DC. But there is a need for people, for government to procure those structural reforms in the Farm Bill.
A question would be, are they pushing to get more organic or fully have organic farms here in California? Because we have so many disabled children due to the pesticides. What's your take on that?
So it's definitely something that we have to applaud California for leading the way in terms of procuring organic farming, sustainable, regenerative farming, especially because there's so a big impact in public health. Particularly our children. Something, a fun fact that people don't really talk about it, and I say fun and sarcastically. The difference between the farms here in California and the ones in the Midwest, for example, is very big. Not only do farm workers work in the fields, but they also live in the fields and go to school in the fields, around the fields. So if you look at, say for example, Cantua, let's not go far. You go to their elementary and they're surrounded by almond trees, pistachio trees. Imagine the children being exposed to organophosphates chemicals. And so these are things that are being applied to our crops. So that's why we need to push to a more sustainable agriculture, regenerative agriculture, organic farming. So those, for some reason, big ag is the big elephant in the room, and we don't want to talk about it. It's the sacred cow, I guess. People say, well, they're giving us jobs, but you in exchange for your child's
for our health
and our health, public health, and so it's not fair.
So I have a question. Since we do have people like you representing us, or at least collecting the information and sharing, does it seem to you that we're starting to have more of a voice? Because these issues, the water, the pesticides, like you said, that all impacts our home. And really, I sent a letter to Governor Newsom. I asked, why isn't it we, the Mexican people, who were here before the treaty, we only asked to be treated equally? Why isn't it the government searching for those people who stole our lands? I asked him to, find my family's lands, and he's refusing. Is there any talk about that?
Yeah, that's a conversation that we should be having more often. But the idea is that we already know United States history. It's about land theft and genocide. I mean, and look what's going on in Palestine.
All this renewable energy stuff, and really that's another take away our property and our work, isn't it?
The idea is, how do you unroll these programs, these funds, and say, for example, this mega solar project that's going to happen. It's how much input is there from the community, and how much can we keep here locally? I mean, renewable energy is going to happen one way or the other. I used to be in the solar industry at the very early stage, but the fact is that the greed of capitalism culture took over. It's instead of giving the homeowners the benefit and being transparent in how this they were acquired solar energy. They were very shady. They ended up giving them what benefited them, not the homeowners. Even with the non-profit organizations who were carrying or marketing their solar programs, they even were not transparent with the homeowners about that. For example, say this non-profit would go over to a homeowner of low income and say, you qualify for this free installation. But they wouldn't tell them that they were simply gonna be changing them to a new energy provider, and not so much that they were gonna own them, but they would go into this contract. But to top it off, not only did they not tell them that, but they also did not put enough panels. So now families ended up with two bills. So you had the monthly bill for your energy, and then the true bill, which PG&E, because you're connected to the grid. Now, family needed to pay one big bill, which made the difference. Say about $1,600 more or less of these families. So imagine you being hit at the end of the year with a $1,600 bill that you have to pay in a month. So these things happen, and there's a lot of stuff going on right now for the past 6 years. I have colleagues who are procuring that subject with the CPU, California Public Utilities Commission, addressing that, rescinding contracts which families could not get out easily, but through the CPUC, the Public Utilities Commission, they are forcing companies to rescind those contracts and bring about justice.
So I have a question. What about the farmers? I mean, the farmers have been using our labor, the Mexican people's labor, since the treaty, 1849, and we haven't been paid fairly. We haven't, like you said, the transparency is very poor. What is it that really California is doing to cure those differences? Because really the farmer is the one that should be paying for our ills and our money that's owed to us.
Yeah, well, again, we're in a system that's extractive, a capitalist system that's extractive, and it does not procure the labor force, the human aspect. Why? Because again, money over people. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean,
do you feel like the Trump administration might start to cure some of those things?
No, not at all. That's actually that's a big monkey wrench into the whole thing. It's only gonna drag things, and make things worse, because there is no investment in that. They don't believe in the helping out the small family farms, much less the farm workers. And it's something that we're gonna pay the consequences. But again, in California, we're privileged because there's the safety net that we have. It's stronger than many other states, especially the South. I've done work out there in the South and in the Midwest, and it's we're privileged again. I mean, somewhat we're sheltered, even though here in California we don't see it. But the idea again is, how do we bring about? We're also procuring the access to land for people, BIPOC folks, people who are farm workers and transitioning to farming, because there is a lot of families. White folks, their children do not want to farm. They don't want anything to do with agriculture. Now we're leaving all this land, and they don't know what to do. The thing is, will they sell out to big, big corporations? And now there's not going to be equity or justice in terms of land access for the new farmer. And so it's a big issue. We're working on it. That's something that's being procured also into the Farm Bill. I mean, once again, this is year number 2 that the Farm Bill has not made its way out because of politics. Again, so the Republicans have not been willing to work on this in getting that Farm Bill passed. So again, we'll have to wait another till the next year in 2025, hoping that we will.
It'll be a vote by the Congress or a vote by the Senate, or?
It's by both houses.
Oh, okay.
The House and both chambers, yeah.
Well, how short were we the last time they voted on it?
Yeah, they didn't even make it to it. Yeah, so it's not agreeing on something to put it forward, and that's the challenge.
Okay. Say your name again.
My name is Jesus Pineda with Latino Farmers and Ranchers International.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Aina.
the vehicle.
Yeah, so this is a mobile classroom. It's so 8 years ago when I got hired by the county, I had the dream of putting this book on it because it's Dreamers by Julia Morales, and it's a book about the library. So, and then Marcela came on board, so she does mobile classroom things like we help people get their citizenship, teach English on board, and we sit 6 to 8 people in it at a time.
So what are the areas that you go to?
So all of the rural communities, so Firebog, Mendota, we go out to Raisin City, we go out to Tranquility, anywhere where there's rural communities. And the size of the vehicle is this size, so it can fit anywhere, in an orchard, in a packing house, an apartment complex. She could take it anywhere. So, and that's a book by Yugi Morales. That's on the outside. So.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem. So sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
You'll be quiet.
That's not something we need to know. I mean, these are taxpayers, and they're not getting their stuff. You know that?
Exactly.
Right. So what about this thing Newsom is pushing all this